we're going to go over the rework specifically to Human Torch and Thing, and then we also got some additional details on the Fantastic Four MCU team. And I'm pretty excited about the Thing reworks in particular because in the interim, before the entire team is out, might get some additional benefit in war with the new Avengers team, which I think is a big deal. Now, there is a promo code that was not working yesterday, and the promo code is 4, and you get the following items. So this is not the MCU Invisible Woman. This is not the MCU Mr. Fantastic, but this is the Thing and the Human Torch. Now, the reworks for Human Torch and Thing are not live currently. I'm guessing before the first character is available for sale, they will be turned on. Yesterday, Satana was introduced to the game, and typically the character releases are 10 days apart. So I fully expect the reworks, which we're going to talk about here in this video, are going to be live in the next week and a half or so. Now, if you're a new player and you're under the assumption, which rightfully show you should have, that these are going to be the new ones, they are not. Now, there is value. Invisible Woman has post-Ares stats, so she has good stats, and Mr. Fantastic's a part of the Illuminati team. And then, of course, these two will be being used once the full team is in the game. Now, if you've not done so already, click the link in the description or scan the QR code here on the screen if you want to start playing Raid Shadow Legends. Now, this is kind of a big deal. If you're interested in playing Raid, there is a legendary character, one of the best ones in the game, called Sun Wukong, and he is going away at the end of the month. So promo code Monkey King in the first 24 hours to get Sun Wukong. Now, I do have a Raid Shadow Legends channel. Click to that, will be in the description as well to that channel. And if you like Marvel and you like PvP content, Marvel Strike Force is where it's at. But if you like dark fantasy, you like PvE, like dungeon bosses and things like that, and nearly unlimited character customization and collection, Raid Shadow Legends offers so much that Marvel Strike Force doesn't have. So let's get to the information that was provided in this post right here. And there is a small recap of the team, but there was a strike time video yesterday that actually had more information than what's in this post. So we will go over the details and combine the two to find out what we currently know. Fantastic Four MCU, no matter what corner of the multiverse you're in, there's one family you don't ever want to mess with, the Fantastic Four. Strike called on this family years ago for help, and Fury is assembling a new version with a special assignment, Arena. Yeah, and it's been almost a year since Annihilators came out. Endgame Thanos, Gore, and Gladiator still very, very top tier characters. They were the first team with the post-Ares stats. It's going to be mix up, and my understanding of the way it's going to work is going to be the 3 new characters, Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Franklin Richards, coupled with, let's say, 2 mythical characters, maybe like Professor X and Odin or whatever one you have, is probably going to be what's dominant in the arena for some times going forward. You can't have the Fantastic Four without the Thing and Human Torch, and they're going to get reworks, so they're getting updates to prepare them for the modern enemies they face. Here's a look at the new team. The Ultimate and his special family. The new characters of the Fantastic Four MCU team bolster each other with passive abilities that fire off when a Fantastic Four MCU ally uses either their special or ultimate ability. Mr. Fantastic MCU buries himself in all allies. Now, Invisible Woman attacks the most injured enemy for piercing damage before gaining stealth, and Franklin Richards fills the speed bar for himself and his allies. Mr. Fantastic MCO is the family protector, is going to be like the tank on the team, if you will. The man with elastic body shows how a father bends so others don't break. His protector kit shields his family from damage while also dishing out attacks. Now, in the strike time video from yesterday, there was actually quite a bit more detail on exactly what that means. Reed will be a protector, apply barrier, block chance to allies, gain taunt, and have a decent amount of damage. So there's some additional context that is not provided here. This is kind of a teaser, if you will. Invisible Woman MCO stealth punishment. The hand that rocks the cradle rules the world, so watch out. Invisible Woman MCU not only slugs anyone in her path, but she also does show from the shadows. In yesterday's video, it said, Sue will be a brawler, remove buffs, apply defense down, have stealth mechanics, increase crit percent and damage under stealth, and her ult will pull enemies together. That's right. She's going to suck them all together like Magneto and Polaris. Now let's get to Franklin Richards. Silencing enemies. He may be a kid, but he's powerful beyond years. Franklin Richards not only manipulates effects on both sides of the battle, but he also introduced a new negative effect and a new battlefield effect that he'll warp reality in his family's favor. And that new negative effect is called Silence. And this is a little bit confusing, but I do want to read that. Franklin will be a controller with a battlefield effect that applies a new debuff called Silence. Silence will block enemies from applying buffs and debuffs and block enemies from reducing the duration of their debuffs. In Arena, Silence will be applied to an enemy whenever they take a turn. Battlefield effects can't be removed. Outside of Arena, Silence will be applied via his ult for 2 turns to all enemies. And then Franklin will gain turn meter with the F4 specials and ults. Sue will attack with the F4 specials and ults, and Reed will apply barrier on F4 specials and ults. And again, like I said, the 3 new characters with 2 mythics inside of the arena. Now, let's get into the individual reworks because we do have the details on that today. There's going to be significant stat updates to Human Torch. Yeah, his kit is long overdue, grossly understated, if you will. My goodness, look at that 600, 300, 500, 300% stat boost. Now, basic attack has a damage increase, 280, remains the same. Then his special, which basically had some call outs with the offense up to all Fantastic Four. They basically changed it so that it'll apply offense up to all allies and then attack the primary target for 270 damage. Now, it's interesting. They actually lowered the stats here. It was 350 modifier. Yes, there's a pretty significant modifier up here, but I'm not sure how the multiplication or addition works on that. I'm guessing that it'll bring it up to modern times, but still, they're going for 350 to 270. Apply heal block, but they're going to gain an assist from a random Fantastic Four ally. Okay, then his ultimate Supernova will have a clear all barrier from all enemies, and then this is a pretty significant improvement on his passive, right? On turn, flip 3 negative effects into positive effects on self, and it was only 2 before. On Fantastic Four ally turn, gain assist now. So he's going to be assisting all the time. That's fantastic. If this character has 2 or more Fantastic Four allies, when this character successfully attacks an enemy, prolong the duration of all negative effects, and excluding trauma, silence, ability block, and stun by 1 up to a maximum of 3. And then again, they got rid of this. I think they're moving away from this right here. In fact, if we look at Professor X kit in Arena, he really gets rid of this specifically on mythic characters. So I feel like they're trying to put the stats elsewhere, either baked into the kit or in the modifiers, like the multipliers on the damage, rather than have these numbers built into the passive. That seems to be a current trend. Now, this is the one that I'm the most excited about, would be the Thing. Base stats include health, damage, armor, focus, resist. Now, the special, they did something similar. Basically, the damage modifier was much higher. They lowered it. So yeah, there is additional stats here, built into the base stats, but then they, on the special anyways, they remove it here. They go from 250, before it was 340, and then the bonus attack was 280, now it's 150. All right, so they added some other things. Damage, flip, deflect, minor deflect, and death brew. And we're going to get to it on that later in the kit, but he's actually going to start the match off earlier in war. And I'm wondering if he's going to be going before Tigra and putting out a stun. That's super interesting to me because in the meantime, I don't know how long it's going to take for this team to be fully out. Probably a month and a half, right? 30 days at least from now, right? Before the whole team is out. So there's going to be a period of time where we might be able to use Thing in New Avengers inside of War. So attack cannot be blocked. Okay, fine. His ultimate. So they're changing this around before. The new ultimate attack, Haymaker. Attack primary target for 550 damage and clear all positive effects. So the damage modifier on this one is the same. It still does apply stun, but it clears all positive effects first, disrupts for 2 turns, and trauma for 2 turns to primary target. Now, stun plus trauma is very powerful. If the primary target has safeguard or is a minion, gain 100% crit chance. On kill, apply immunity and speed up to self and Fantastic Four allies. Gain 2,000% extra focus for this attack, and this attack cannot be counterattacked and blocked. Now, this is what I was talking about. What I was the most excited about is that they're basically making him faster, himself faster, when he's going to be on a new Avenger or in Fantastic Four team. Now, the way it was before, it says in war on spawn, fill speed bar by 7+7 per new Avenger ally. Now in war on spawn, fill speed bar by 15+15 per new Avenger or Fantastic Four ally. So with the changes to his ultimate, clearing all the positive effects, applying the stun plus trauma, that could be super interesting as long as you're not hitting into like a safeguard plus immunity type character. That's going to be impactful, and I think that's going to go off before Tigra. We will have to see. When an enemy attacks this character, Fantastic Four ally, or new Avenger ally, this character does not have ability to block. Attack the enemy for 275% piercing, and that is quite a bit more than before, right? 150 before. That was that counter tap. We call it like it's his passive attack, and it's tied to his passive, so it's not tied to his basic or his ISO attack. In war, if the target is a chargeable protector, clear 5 charged. Chargeable protectors would be like Mephisto, Black Knight, and maybe both the Juggernauts. There's other ones, but those are the ones that just come to the top of my head. This clear cannot be resisted. I think that's mostly would be useful against Black Knight. So, I'm not sure what you think about all of this. I'm excited for the team. I'm looking forward to the changes. I'm mostly looking forward to being able to use Thing sooner than later inside of the new Avenger team, because that team is fast, and fast teams don't get blown out of the water as much with the new overpowered system. The overpowered system definitely favors very fast teams, and new Avengers is a fast team and has still some limited viability for now, right? All right, let me know what you think. Bye for now.